So you're saying no bailouts?
I'm saying no bailouts. That's the objective. Ending too big to fail.
And yeah, too big to fail is such a bizarre concept. Watching those big companies be too big to fail and be saved, and then watching all these people, especially in America, lose their homes. Look at Greece and Italy and Spain and other countries, like facing this stuff. Everybody's too big to fail except for the individual. They won't bail out the individual. So do you actually think that you can change the culture? Because if you watch Inside Job, a lot of those same. Did you watch the movie? Did you like that movie?
I didn't see the movie. I saw the trailer. The trailer was painful enough.
Are you hesitating to see it just because it might be too close to home?
No, I watched. There's so much of this stuff I can only watch. I saw Too Big to Fail. How's that?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea is that you actually have to tell people, listen, you big companies have to fail. But we keep getting told that if they fail, the rest of the country will collapse with it. Is that true? Are these companies actually too big to fail?
It was, in my opinion, it was absolutely the case that the U.S. particularly had to save entities in 2008. And we saw it from not saving Lehman, what happened to the global economy after Lehman failed. But that's got to change. And so what changes is that you make shareholders bear the brunt. You make all the debt holders, private individuals, private institutions who provided debt to banks, that they should bear the brunt. They should become shareholders if the shareholders get wiped out. We change the way the markets trade so that the actual trading goes on. I mean, the stock exchange doesn't go down because GM goes into bankruptcy. But the way the bond market works and other financial markets works do go down if a major bank is on the brink. And that's got to change. And so it's boring, it's techie, but it's incredibly important, and that's what we're working on.
What do you think about the Occupy movement and how it's built?
Well, I was asked that question a few weeks ago. I got in a little trouble for saying I understood the Occupy movement, particularly in the United States. The issue is there's some pretty cold, hard facts around unemployment, but they're just statistics, and so until you actually see the manifestation, it's not there. The situation in Canada is quite different from the United States in terms of the length of unemployment. 40% of American unemployed are long-term unemployed. That's not the case in Canada. It's in the teens. It's still, not great, but it's nowhere near the same amount. We've more than recovered all the jobs that we lost in the recession, 250,000 more. Americans aren't even close. And so there's big differences between the way the Canadian economy has performed and the way the Americans have. But understand the issues because it's partially a response to unseen forces or forces that are difficult to pin down, and it is absolutely necessary to assure people that we're working on the things we can work on. The one thing that we can work on as a central bank is what we talked about, is the too big to fail issue.
Did your college roommate was Peter Chiarelli from the Bruins?
Yes.
Yeah? Yep. He won a Stanley Cup. Did you guys make a bet like, hey, I would be in public office before you win a Stanley Cup, or how'd that work?
I thought he might give me my last shot at the NHL once he became GM, but apparently Tim Thomas was a little better.
You were a pretty good player, though, weren't you?
I was okay. I opened the gate for a lot of very good hockey players. I was a backup goalie, so I'll be honest.
Did you have a weakness? Was it your glove hand?
No, my glove hand was okay. Stick side low.
There you go.
There you go.
Now you know. What lessons from hockey could you apply to your current job? Preparation. I mean, it's slightly reactive. I think goaltending is reactive. It's funny, the AC/DC song, which was the warm-up song when I played hockey, isn't a great song for a goalie because it's an aggressive song. You want to get out and do something, but as a goalie, you have to react to circumstances, right? You can't make the play, and so by and large, central banking is like that. You're reacting to circumstances. You're trying to anticipate. But during a financial crisis, during a situation like we're in, you're a little more proactive. It crosses beyond just being waiting for the shot. You think there'll be a time when you run for public office as a politician?
As a goaltender? No. I've got it's an honor to do this job, and I'm barely halfway through my term, and there's a lot to do as we've been talking about, so I'll keep doing that.
You couldn't see yourself down the road running for public office?
I would like to survive to the end of my term is my main objective.
Also, by the way, not a no. The Governor of the Bank of Canada and the head of the Financial Stability Board, Mark Carney. Really appreciate it.